Okay, so look, the column that I wrote on BillO'Reilly.com is titled Corruption. And now we know that the Clinton campaign concocted and financed the bogus Russian collusion story.
This is
lasted from
hang on
for
just
more
a second.
than
This
2
is
years.
this is so amazing that nobody pays attention. Nobody really
don't
cares. And
don't
part of it is the conservatives that are just so tired of the Clintons that it's like, oh, another Clinton scandal. This one is the big one. This one's the big one.
This is it, and he's getting scant, word of the day, scant news coverage because people are exhausted about it. I understand, but my job is to tell the folks what's happening, and we're living in a corrupt country. I love my country. I think it's the most noble nation ever, but right now it's corrupt.
Yeah, right now it's on the verge of being a banana republic if we're not already there.
So you have now, beyond a reasonable doubt, all right, a line from the Clinton campaign to the Democratic Party itself to the mainstream media. Now, for the first time in American history, the corporate media has cooperated with a political party. And every aspect of trying to get the Democrats elected. That's what this is all about. So once you look at how powerful Disney, Comcast, Verizon,
Facebook,
you name it,
Google, Twitter,
right, Silicon Valley, and they all came together to destroy Donald Trump, and he won anyway. But that's a miracle, and that's on the folks.
And I will tell you this. You know, you look now and say, Google and Facebook and all these guys colluded to get rid of the Hunter Biden story, to get the votes out. This is a much more nefarious use of the press. This is them engaged for years, engaging in a lie they knew was a lie.
And I'll disagree with you a little on the last statement. They didn't know it was a lie.
Washington
CNN
Post
and New York Times and Washington Post, because they didn't look. They didn't care. They didn't investigate. Well, maybe this isn't true.
The FBI
maybe this is used.
The FBI knew in 2017, and so did the Washington Post.
The Washington Post is a separate discussion. You'll have to convince me. The FBI knew, and that's Comey, and Comey
correct
is corrupt, a corrupt FBI director. Look, I wrote a book, Killing the Mob, all right? J. Edgar Hoover was corrupt. He was a corrupt man. We lay it out for you. This isn't unprecedented. What is unprecedented is that you had all this power arrayed against one man, the Republican nominee for president, who every single day for more than 2 years had to deal with false charges. And it has never happened. And the fact that it did happen should scare the bejesus out of everybody, because there's been no repenting.
No.
Who's repented?
No.
Listen,
Pulitzers aren't going back home. They're not going back.
Right.
They all won Pulitzers
Let me give you
for this.
one more.
Yeah.
So the New York Times, which is the most powerful newspaper agency, all right, in the country, runs one reporter, Maggie Haberman, runs more than 100 anti-Trump stories based on anonymous sources, receives a Pulitzer Prize for doing it, okay? And they're all false. Does she give the prize back? Does the Pulitzer Committee demand it back? Does anybody say anything about it? No. Now, there have been other times in our history, in the Roaring '20s, probably the best example, where we've had so much massive corruption that society was damaged to an extent that it took decades to repair. I don't think the corporate media in America can ever be repaired.
No. If you were the king of the universe, you would come in here and say, okay, we agree on the principles that, the founding principles and the Bill of Rights. Great. How do we reset? you'd have to reset every agency and everyone in Washington. You'd have to reset all of the media. But honestly, Bill, you'd have to reset a lot of America as well. Americans don't seem to care.
I'm not sure about that because last week we saw a repudiation of the progressive left. So I think they're starting to care. And
yes.
Thanksgiving dinner is going to be a linchpin. You're going to walk in there and you're going to look at your bill for that dinner, and one man is responsible for you paying 50% more this year than last year. One man.
I think also the airports are going to be a disaster.
Right.
A disaster.
Good point.
And everybody's going to know it.
And then you have little Sammy who wants a Lego to put under the tree, and little Sammy might not get the little Lego, and he'll be in tears on Christmas morning.
All right, let me ask you, we didn't talk about the infrastructure bill passing. Do you think the Build Back Better bill is going to pass? They haven't learned anything from what happened in Virginia and New Jersey.
I think it might pass at, a tune of 1.314 instead of 3.5 trillion. But again, they won't put out what's in the bill.
Yeah,
Build Back Better what? What? Do I have to? My tax dollars are going to build more wind turbines. And then here's another thing that BillO'Reilly.com uncovered, Beck. And you should be so proud of me, Beck. You should be telling everybody.
I think you're proud of yourself enough. No,
but you should do it. I'm O'Reilly's friend. He's the greatest journalist of all time, and you need to know it. You know who makes all the green stuff, Beck? You know who makes the solar panels, the turbines, the electric cars? You know who makes it?
China.
Yeah. So all of that Build Back Better money, that's going right over to Beijing. That's where that's going. Does anybody know that? No. Nobody knows it. Because we, the USA, make the solar panels. We don't make them anymore. China makes them.
Well, they're too dirty to make
China can make everything cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
So
and we want our hands clean here. The environmentalists are like, it's too dirty. We need it, but it's too dirty.
Well, there's so much the American people don't know about the corruption. So Build Back Better what? Build Back Better. What are you going to build back? What? We already got 1.2 for infrastructure. They're going to build the roads and the bridges back up, maybe. All right. So now what? What is this? Environmental justice. You know what that is? That's free homes for people that the Democratic Party wants to give free housing to. That's what environmental justice is.
I urge everyone to see the latest nominee for the Treasury. She is the Soviet woman that is going to be has been nominated to be the comptroller of our currency, and the press is using quotations when they say the GOP says she's an extremist. She is an extremist. She just said she wants to bankrupt all the oil and gas and coal industry. I'd say that's an extremist.